Wait about 30 seconds. My camera has arrived, and I think my gimbal arrives this evening. So I'll be playing with that over the next few days. Well, I'm upgrading the channel, so I'm kind of doing car chats in lieu of having because the channel's down all this week and probably this weekend. Well, I'm working on upgrading my equipment. Okay. I thought of a really good topic. I just love to talk about stuff. This channel doesn't really focus on how to be a YouTuber. Okay, that's not really the focus of the channel, since that's not, because there are lots and lots of channels that tell you how to be a YouTube creator. But I thought as long as we're doing car chat, we're waiting for my channel to finish being under construction, I would talk to you about some lies, things that I've learned about being a YouTuber that you begin to go, oh, now I get it. I've had a YouTube channel since 2019. I started out as a fitness channel because I'm a huge fitness addict. And the reason my bangs always look like this, don't worry, I'm at a stoplight, is because I get done with the gym and I flat iron my hair, usually when I get to work. So I want to talk to you about some lies about being a YouTube creator that I can tell you just from my experience. Now, of course, there are always exceptions. Somebody say, oh, that's not the case for me. I get it, but I'm not here to debate that. I'm just simply here to tell you my observations. I teach middle school. Tons of my students want to be YouTube creators. I mean, I'd say right now, I would say it almost exceeds wanting to play football and basketball as I want to be a YouTube creator. And there are some lies that I genuinely, I won't say lies, they're untruths. So that's what I thought we would talk about today. The untruths of being a YouTube creator based on my experience. And I have pretty good experience. I've been on the platform now for half a decade, okay, just a little over half a decade. The people who have followed me, I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? The first 100, so you want to be a content creator. I'll tell you this, the first 100 people that I gathered for this channel, I am telling you, it was short of beg, borrow, and steal from them, okay? I don't mean that literally, so don't take it too seriously here, okay? But I mean, you say you want to be a content creator, all right? And like I said, my channel doesn't focus on telling you how to be a YouTuber or telling you how to be a content creator, but it's perfect for car chat, okay? So for me to get the first 100, I mean, it was anybody and everybody that I could talk to, basically saying, I have a YouTube channel, this is the topic, yada, yada. You cannot be shy about it, all right? It was really, really grassroots. I didn't come with a business that was already intact, where I'm already in front of people and all I had to say was, hey, here's my YouTube channel. I do not focus on TikTok as far as TikTok creation. I don't create TikToks. I pull from TikTok and I don't touch Instagram. It's just not my thing. Okay. I'm very much 100% a YouTuber. So you will see YouTube thumbnails. And for those who may not know, the thumbnails are those square things that you click on when you're going through a YouTube channel and you look at someone and in a nanosecond you decide, is this or is this not of interest to you? Those are called thumbnails, okay? And I can't assume that everyone knows that. So you will see a lot of YouTube thumbnails that will say something like this. Get your first 1,000 in 2 weeks. Get your first 1,000 subscribers in a month. Worse yet, get your first 1,000 subscribers in 7 days. Whatever. Now, here's the thing. When I was a new YouTuber and I saw things like that, I really thought that I had failed at it because it took me almost 5 years to get my first 2,000. Okay, I got my first I wasn't even at 2,000, you guys. I was at 1,800. September 2018. Yeah, I may not remember the day I got married and divorced, but I remember the day my YouTube channel hit nearly 2,000, okay? Priorities, I don't know. It is what it is, okay? Probably because there's some things we would rather remember and some things we would rather forget, okay? But it's enough to make a new creator think that something is really wrong with them because they're like, you see these thumbnails that say, 1,000 subscribers, you should have it by the end of, a month, whatever. And if you don't have it, that makes you a failure. That is absolutely not true. And then I started thinking about it. I started going, something's missing. And as a teacher, one of the things that we do is, of course, we teach people things. Well, sometimes we have to be our own teacher and we have to teach things to ourselves. So I started looking at YouTube and how it really, really works. And why is it that some channels blow up really fast and some channels don't? Here are some truths to being a YouTube creator. The chances of your channel blowing up really fast is almost next to nil. Let me put this in really good terms, okay? you have to realize that a lot of people who so-called blow up fast, and again, this is not a straight rule for everybody, but I'm going to say about 99%. Okay. A lot of them are businesses that were already in place. All they did was use YouTube to help further their audience. In other words, you're already running a business. You already have your customers or clients. Your business cards are probably already out there or something similar to business cards. You create a YouTube channel and boom, there you go. You've already got a client base. This is something that a lot of big creators don't tell you. It's not that I don't like big creators. And I know at this point, I'm not considered small. Okay. But I don't consider myself really large either, to be totally honest. Okay. But a lot of them are businesses that are already established. Another big problem, I'll be totally honest, is you'll see some of these big YouTubers. I hate to refer to Mr. Beast, but everybody seems to know he is. If I said Think Media, somebody may not know. I know what it is, okay? But let's take someone like Mr. Beast, and these things just totally, these things just really are pet peeves. Somebody who's on the level of Mr. Beast, somewhere on that, let's just say on that range, okay? Says something in a thumbnail like, I can prove to you that it is not luck, but just it's all hard work as to why my channel finally blew up. And they create this third, fourth, or fifth channel, and the channel just blows up. Well, there's a reason you really can't take that to heart. You have to understand that YouTube, being the algorithm, they know every channel that you are already associated with, okay? They know every channel. Your name, your computer ID, all of that stuff. They got all that stuff. When you make another channel under the same name, the same content creator, the computer algorithm, so to speak, already knows who you are. You are already familiar. So when new creators come on and they see something like, they see a creator that says, I went to 1,000 subscribers and it only took me a week. Or better yet, it only took me a couple days. You're the failure. And you don't have the talent to do what I do. And that's why your channel is slow and doesn't go anywhere, because I'm much better at it than you. That's not true. Okay. My channel existed for half a decade, but I didn't have a business coming into the channel. I had never created a channel before, so I didn't have the technical knowledge. I didn't have the equipment knowledge. But here's the thing. If I were to start another YouTube channel now with half a decade of experience under me, I guarantee to you pretty much I could probably get that channel to hit 1,000 within just weeks. There would be no way it would take me 5 years to hit 1,000. So would it be right? Would it be fair for me to put out a thumbnail that says, I created a second channel, and people have asked me if I've considered a second channel. No, ain't no way I'm going to do it. One channel is so much work. Oh my God, I can't tell you. And I don't want to be all things in all places. One channel is fine for me. But if I were to create a second channel, let's put this into perspective. I now have the equipment. I have the technical knowledge. The computer algorithm knows who I am. I understand how to logistically work myself around YouTube and the kinks. So is it accurate and is it right for me to put out a thumbnail saying, hey, look how good I am at YouTube because I got my second, third, fourth, fifth channel, whatever, up to 1,000. The reason 1,000 is a big mark for those who may not know is the 1,000 subscriber mark. I think you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That took me almost 5 years. Okay. It's the fact that's when you can get monetized with YouTube. In other words, you can start being paid for ads. And believe me, it's pennies on the dollar. Don't get excited over it. Okay. Do not plan on retiring on it. Okay. You get like pennies for ads that run. Okay. So that's why the 1,000 is kind of the big deal. You don't get a silver plate or anything for 1,000, but okay. So would it be fair for me to do that? And as I got more and more experience at YouTube, thinking, God, I'm losing here. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. I'm barely at 1,000. What you have to remember, should you decide to start a YouTube channel, if you don't have a business with clients already, you don't have an audience, you're not a traveling, comedy person, you're not a traveling business, you are going to start grassroots. You are going to start asking the people at the grocery store that you're standing in line next to, hey, would you like to join my YouTube channel? And yes, that's what I did. Yeah, the first 100 people. It was grassroots. And then, a year later, you still haven't hit your 1,000, but you're seeing all these thumbnails that say, why aren't you, as good as I am? It's like comparing apples and oranges. So one day Kid you not too long ago, I woke up and I said to myself, let's take being a YouTube creator and being a small creator, and small to me would probably, most people would probably say, they would say less than 100,000, but I think we go way down beyond that. Let's say 10,000 or so, okay? So you're a small YouTube creator. I want you to imagine you had a lemonade stand. Yes, I'm a teacher. Everything goes into an analogy of some sort, okay? It is what it is, okay? I want you to imagine you have a lemonade stand. Let's forget YouTube for a minute, okay? You have a lemonade stand. You're standing at the end of your driveway, and you are selling your lemonade, all right? And you're very low budget, and you have to wait for people to kind of come down your street, approach you in your driveway, and hopefully buy your lemonade. But let's say right down the street, you have a Publix. Publix is selling the same lemonade that you're selling, but Publix is much bigger. Publix, that's a grocery store here in Florida, for those who may not know. Okay, it's just a grocery store. But Publix is selling their lemonade, same brand that you're selling. You're all on the same platform, but it's Publix. Publix is established. Publix is a tax deduction. Publix has lots and lots of legs and arms reaching out into the community. They have vendors, they have suppliers, they have money to go into your neighborhood. Oh yes, here's the kicker. They have money to go into your neighborhood, advertise to people that might have looked at you, but you're the small guy, and they're much more attracted. The customers are much more attracted to the bigger store. At the end of the day, who's going to sell more lemonade? You or Publix? Even though you sold the exact same lemonade, yeah, Publix is going to sell more lemonade. Is it because the Publix lemonade was better? No. Publix just has a bigger reach. It dawned on me, if YouTube creators who think that they're not making it, so to speak, would look at it like that, there is nothing wrong with being a small creator. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I think I won't do a formal YouTube video because I thought about it, trust me, because it's really a pet peeve of mine. I'm not going to say large YouTube channels lie. That might be a push, although I think it's a light push, okay? But there's a lot of stuff that goes into why one YouTube channel blows up really fast and another one does not. Yes, there's always that occasional channel where somebody goes on and they just all of a sudden blew up. One of them was a guy who is a brain surgeon. I think he is like all of maybe 30 years old. He was a brain surgeon, I think MIT or something like that, big. He decides that he's going to leave the brain surgeon and go climb rocks somewhere in a mountain, and his channel blew up. But here's the problem also with the channel that blows up. The reason, and I've concluded this after half a decade, you don't want your channel to blow up on one video. You want the whole channel to grow as a group. In other words, I kind of think of it like, I think of it kind of like the Titanic. Before it sinks, one end goes up really, really high. That's the viral part. And the other end, what does it do? It starts to sink. There's a lot of thumbnails that want to say things like how to make your video go viral. I am convinced after half a decade on YouTube, okay, it's not viral that you want. You actually want the whole ship to raise together. I've never had a so-called viral video, but in many ways, I think that's been great for the channel because the whole channel has grown as a whole, you see? So what winds up happening is, let's take back to our lemonade analogy. At the end of the day, you sold your lemonade at the end of the driveway, and maybe, let's just throw it out, you made $50 at the end of the day, but Publix made $1,000 selling the same lemonade. Does that mean your lemonade wasn't good, that your lemonade wasn't valuable, whatnot? No, it just simply means you don't have the access and the resources that Publix has to sell their lemonade. I have no doubt, this is just me, okay, I have no doubt that in time, as my channel grows and stuff, it'll keep growing. And I'm very fortunate because I have the resources to help make it grow. I can put in the technology and all of that stuff. But just because somebody else doesn't have it, doesn't make their channel less valuable. And I think for me, I spent years really believing that my channel somehow or another just wasn't good. But yet, if I really look at it, and those who have followed this channel, and I have had some viewers who have followed this channel from the beginning, guys, I'm actually the same person, the same creator now that I was 5 years ago. Nothing's really changed. You could watch my channel from 5 years ago, watch some of my older videos with me and a laptop, and it's pretty much the same personality. I think one of the big lies, many that big YouTubers don't tell you, also, and I hinted this the other day, there are business folks. When you become a business and you can get access to the resources that are needed to develop and grow your channel, you can skyrocket it. And it kind of maddens me to some extent why big YouTubers don't tell small YouTubers that. If you can turn your channel into a business and make it something where you are now getting assistance in growing your channel, that's a huge, huge leg up. But instead, what is told to smaller creators is this, and I'm sick of seeing it. This is why I want to talk about it. Oh, you just need to do better content. You just need to be more engaging. You just need to produce content that people love. Guess what? They're either going to like it or hate it. And if you want to have a channel for a long time and you want to be able to get through, like I did, 5 years before anybody even knew I really existed, okay? The best way to do it is just to be who you are. Don't try to fit yourself into some personality mold or some character that doesn't last. A few of you guys out there, not very many, but I have made personal friends with, okay? And they'll tell you, I talk the same and I act the same on the phone as what you see on here. In other words, it's not a character that I play or anything like that. They're like, yep, you sound exactly the same in person. Do not get bummed out because you look at a thumbnail that basically asks why you are failing because your channel isn't at 1,000 in a month. It's not you. And it's not always because your content sucks. Now then, let's get honest. Are there YouTube content out there that sucks? Yeah, there are. And I've looked at some channels and I can see what the problem is. This channel was designed to be mainstream. It was designed to be mainstream from the beginning. But I remember a quote from, I think it was Tom Selleck. Oh my God, we're going to go back to the 70s and 80s, at least the 80s, okay? And I believe it was Tom Selleck because my sister had a total crush on him. He's an actor, okay? The classic mustache. And they interviewed him, and I could have sworn it was him. And the interviewer said to him after he hit Magnum PI, the interviewer said to him, hey, everybody sees you as a sex symbol. And he literally said, I'll never forget this, I believe it was him. He said, I'm no more of a sex symbol today, now that I'm known, than I was yesterday when nobody knew me. He said, it's just people's perception is that I'm that because they now know who I am. And, I think to myself, I'm no different of a YouTube creator today with 130,000 and growing than I was when I had 500 subscribers. I'm the exact same person. Nothing has actually changed. Yeah, the lighting's gotten better. The camera's definitely getting better. Okay, gimbal's on the way. Yeah, the technical stuff is coming and it's growing and it's developing the software. But that doesn't define me. Me as the creator, I'm the exact same creator. And so I get really miffed when I see things and I read things like, well, and big creators will tell you this, you just need a better thumbnail. You just need better content. You just need to be more engaged. Engaged? Are you kidding me? Have you ever written on some big YouTube channels and they never write you back? I mean, and you write on the YouTube channel, they never give you a heart. They never give you a like. Sometimes I'm like, how did you get to 250,000 and you don't even talk to your audience? Right? So I began to go, can we believe all that stuff that we hear? And you do have to have a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself about your channel. Is your channel mainstream? Is your channel too niche-y? For example, you only talk about the lens caps that are put on a Sony camera. That's pretty niche-y, wonderful, but niche-y, okay? Or are you more general like my channel is? So that's just my little pet peeve. This channel is not designed to teach people how to be a content creator. But I do want to bring it to people's attention because I do know so many people would love to be a YouTube creator. And it's not everything that you see. And I don't think big channels are really upfront honest with how they got big or how they grew. Okay, I really don't think they are. And they are not upfront, not hating, but I'm being honest. They're not upfront with the resources that it takes to put into a channel. Yes, you can create a channel on nothing more than a cell phone, and a few people will be able to do that and get really lucky. But most people are going to have to put a lot of money, countless hours of time, and a lot of years into their channel if you really want to make it grow into something that a mainstream audience would want to watch. So I hope that helps. All right, you guys, I'm at school. You know, I love my job. I totally love my job. I love it. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all later. I hope this helped y'all a little bit. Till then, drink some lemonade and be proud of where you're at. I'll talk to you later. Bye.